to the public hearing for 57 Quincy Shore Drive, site plan and special permit plan board case 2016-16. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, the Quincy Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, December 14th, 2016 at 8:52 in the first floor Boards and Commissions Room, Quincy City Hall, 1305 Hancock Street, on the application of Robert Hines, 15 Foster Street, Quincy, Mass. 02169 for a site plan review under the Quincy zoning title, zoning ordinance title 17, section 9.5.1, site plan review. The applicant proposes the demolition of an existing auto repair shop and accessory parking lot and the construction of a new 6-story, 28-unit multi-family residential structure with on-site garage parking for 56 parking spaces. Applicant also proposes landscaping, drainage, and other site modifications. The site contains 12,521 plus or minus square feet of land and is located at 57 Quincy Shore Drive. The subject property is located within the Residence B zoning district and is shown in Assessors Plan 6074, Lot 2, Plot 3. Mr. Hines.
Mr. Chairman and three members of the board, my name is Bob Hines and I represent Murphy Trust. They are presently the owners of 57 Quincy Shore Drive. They, in fact, have been the owners of 57 Quincy Shore Drive since 1977. If you're aware, it was the Murphy Volkswagen place there. Recently, they moved their property, their business from there to Weymouth, and they're in Weymouth right now in 3A. What they plan on doing this and what they're asking the board to consider, first, before we get to that point, they have gone before the zoning board for certain variances that have been granted by the zoning board, and that's what brings them here today. What they're proposing to do is build a 25 unit, I'm sorry, apologize, building right there on this site right there. The unit will consist of 28 units, I apologize, I don't have my glasses, I'm sorry. 28 units, in which each unit having 2 parking spots. So it's going to be 2 tiers of parking. The first 2 floors will be a parking, the residents will be upstairs above that. They made 2 levels of parking for the reason that it is a congested area. There is a lot of parking on private roads. And they wanted to make sure, working with planning, that every unit has at least 2 parking spots, and that's what we presently have right now. Those parking spots will be either connected to Quincy Shore Drive, or they're going to be coming up Atlantic Street. All parking lots will be separated so that the water pool will be assigned to some units, and the floor above will be assigned to other units. They designed this so as you come across, as you come over Quincy Shore Drive, and come over the bridge for deposit, that's what you're going to see. That is the point of what they want to make is they will make it the entrance point of the city of Quincy. As we know, every single corner of the city has an entrance point. It's a gateway. They want to make this building the gateway of that area. We're just starting this process now. We know we have to go through peer review, and we want to bring this forward to the board to have any preliminary questions they had that you may have. We know there's going to be more questions down the road. We know that the peer review is going to bring up some issues that we will deal with. We did have a neighborhood meeting, and I will say that the ward councilor made sure we had a neighborhood meeting. He calls me probably every 2 weeks to see what the status of this is. So he is concerned, but he's actively involved in this. We're asking the board to consider this. Let us go through peer review. Let us see what we have, what we find there. Let's see what peer review says about this potential project. And we look at the end to have a favorable recommendation from peer review and work with them. We also look forward to the board vote in favor. But again, that's down the road. So,
any questions from board members?
You're hitting on right now the things that I care about, especially when we're talking about this being, part of the gateway of the city, people coming off the Ponce Bridge. And so, currently, it looks like a lighthouse thing.
Yes.
So will that top part be lit up at night, visible from the bridge, different colors?
Yes, what they want to make that is a place where the residents there can actually go up there and you see the view of the city. And you see the view of Boston, you can the view of Quincy. They want to make it an area where people can actually go up there, the residents go up there, and there's going to be a little section of it just for the residents to be up there. Yes, and that is going to be lit up. It's in that corner itself is the one that faces the road as you come up the hill.
Yep. And so I think, you know, just as the process goes on, getting an understanding of what that would look like as you're coming over from
Yes.
Dorchester into Quincy, I think that'd be really helpful.
And that was asked before, and I think that's a great idea, because all you see right here is just a flat piece of property.
Yeah.
So I think the view as you're coming over the road would be important, and we'll work on that.
Any other questions?
The parking,
Yes, Brother Joe.
thank you, Mr. Chairman, sorry, jump the gun on you. Where are you going to enter and exit the parking, and the two floors going to be connected, are they going to be separate?
No, the two floors will be separate. We're gonna enter one right up Quincy Shore Drive. Right where that starts, where that entrance of Quincy Shore Drive is where the road Quincy Shore Drive turns from 2 to 3 lanes. And you come off Quincy Shore Drive, if you're not familiar with the area, that's the exit you want to get off the bridge, the Ponce Bridge. What's gonna happen is you can either take a right off the Ponce Bridge, or you can turn right, probably 50 yards up into the units. What happens is that is exactly where you go from 2 to 3 lanes. Any further up would have been a hazard, so that's exactly why we put it there. We thought that was the best way to put it. 2 parking lots will not be connected. You're going to come to Atlantic Street to go to the bottom of the bottom.
Coming to the neighborhood?
Yes. I will say also, the Murphys have had this since 1977. They're not turned into condos. They want to remain landowners. They're familiar with the area. They don't want to go away. My understanding is the family, some family members will also be living there. This is something they don't want to give away. They want to maintain their vision that they have there. They want to be there.
Any other questions? Ms. Carnage, you alluded to zoning board.
Yes.
Has that been heard?
That's been heard. We went to the zoning board. The variance requested were granted. But again, before this, now that we've done that, we also realized that for the planning board, that may also address some of those issues. We're willing, and I understand, speaking with Mr. Fancies and speaking with Mr. Stevens, this is going to be a process of which pay-per-view is going to have a lot of input, and it should. This is going to be a gateway. Like I said before, being chairman of another planning board, every city and town has gateways. We want to make sure this is what that gateway deserves, and we believe it will be.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Offer the public an opportunity to speak. The only thing I would ask you is to identify yourself. Anybody wishing to speak?
Yeah, I do. I'm Irene Chan, live right across the street from the Murphy Brothers currently, live at right now. I'm at 63 Atlantic Street, I'm directly across. So this, where we live now, it's 2 families and single families, 1,800 homes, 1,900 home built homes. And this is 6 stories. It's going to be quite a big building in a nice residential, quiet neighborhood. Traffic, one of the entrances is actually right across the street from my house. So the Atlantic Street entrance is right across the street from my driveway, and I only have a 2-car driveway. I don't have a long driveway. So it's going to be directly across from me. So that means me getting out or them going in, traffic's going to be insane as it is now, because right now parking on that street is a hassle as it is. And right now they only have 2 parking spaces per unit. There's no visitor parking. They keep trying to tell me there's not a lot of people that are going to be driving cars because there are going to be a lot of young folks that are going to be living there. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Because right now we have people that are parking there that don't live there. They live at other buildings down the street and they don't have parking. So they're parking in our street. So there's going to be no parking situation. I don't believe it because I know there's going to be parking issues. So this is 6 stories high, and I don't believe it belongs in our neighborhood because it is so tall. And our buildings are 2-family, maybe townhouses, and then single-family homes. And that off street right there is always busy. It's a 2-way. You either go this way or you go that way. There's people flying. The light on the top is going to be lit up all the time. That means it's going to be kind of bright at night all the time. I don't mind an apartment building being built there, but a 6-story is just a little too tall, and parking needs to be addressed, because only 2 parkings per unit and no visitor parking. What if your family comes? You know where they're going to be parking on Atlantic Street. And that other street is very busy as well. So, you know, I don't, like I said, I don't mind something being built there, but it doesn't fit in the neighborhood at all. So, just saying.
Thank you. Anyone else wish
I want
to
to say
speak?
something.
Go ahead, sir. Just
Actually,
identify yourself.
I'm Pat Chan. I live at 63 Atlantic Street, which is her husband. I live across the street from them. And if you were like looking at that building and you were coming off the highway, and because of flying, this is only like, I want to say about 500 feet into right off the highway there on the bridge, and you got to turn right real fast. I mean, that's going to cause some, you know, slowing down immediately real fast. And if they can't get into that, they would have to go around to where the residential is on Atlantic Street and come up. And people fly on that road all the time, going by, get to the highways and stuff like that. So I was just like thinking that it's going to be a little bit too much on the traffic on such a big unit on the corner, which is already a lot of traffic on that road.
There's a turn off on that. When you get off the exit 12, you can go up the ramp, and then you can turn off and continue going Quincy Shore Drive. So Murphy's is like right there where that turn is. So if you have an entrance right there to a parking space, you know, people are turning this way and then they're going this way, they're going to be taking a quick right to go into the parking space. So I can see that there's going to be issues. There are already like accidents on that corner as it is. So, you know, our concern is that there's going to be a lot of jam in that area, and there already is a lot of traffic jam in the morning when you're trying to get out, and in the evening when you're trying to get home. And I've been living there for 16 years, and it hasn't improved any.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wishes to speak? Anybody else wishes to speak or sign? Okay, we're going to leave this open. I'm sorry, no, there.
I do have a quick question. Just, I appreciate you guys coming out and giving your perspective from the neighborhood. And Mr. Harney, forgive me if you mentioned this, but has there been coordination with the ward counselor to set up a community meeting to discuss the impact?
We actually had a community meeting already with the ward council. I believe they were
Yes,
present
almost
at the time.
first. We did explain the situations and these concerns about the parking, about the Atlantic Street entrance being there, and that there's no parking for, you know, people that will come and visit. And our response to that is a lot of young folks will be moving in, so they may not have cars, the TV's right there. Nobody can guarantee that no one's gonna own a car.
Nobody's guaranteed, but I will say, she's absolutely right. A lot of people are parked in the neighborhood because they go into the T. And they park in that neighborhood, they leave the cars all day long, and I think it disrupts the neighborhood.
But it's not just the T, it's other people that own houses that may not have parking as well.
What they've done, and the planning department was adamant about this, was they couldn't go to 1.5 per unit. It had to be 2 spots per unit. And that's what the zone, that's what's required, the minimum. They're above the requirement. And they did it because the planning department made it clear that that's what they had to do. We did speak to the ward council again. He's been calling me every couple of weeks to see what's going on with this. He understands there are parking issues on those streets, and there are people speeding through those streets. And last time we spoke, approximately, I'm sorry, not the last time before that, he talked about having the police down there more often to monitor the parking and also monitor the speed that go through neighborhoods. And I think that's something that the applicant can't control. They're more than willing to work with the ward council to make sure these things are addressed.
I still
I
think
want to say
it's way
something.
too big.
Since last time they had that meeting about parking, they sent the cop overnight in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and gave everybody tickets on that street, which is where everybody, you know, I know there's no overnight parking on the street, but everybody parks on the street, let's put it that way, and they kind of picked on everybody that live on that road and made everybody pay tickets that night.
And like I said, we only have a front 2-car parking space, and we have 3 cars. We don't have a long driveway, so everybody on that street got ticketed right after we had that meeting.
Yeah.
I will tell you, sir, since I live in a neighborhood that's very, very close, it's not just your neighborhood that they tag for overnight parking.
Everybody's. But it just so happened right after we had that meeting, that's when the police came out. So.
Okay, so we're going to continue this to, well,
We still have to go through a peer review process, so I imagine it'll be a couple of months.
Okay.
before it's necessary.
February 8th? February 8th?
So, a motion to continue this to February 8th.
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Continue it till February
Mr.
2nd.
Chairman, and to you, members of the board, thank you very much, and have a nice holiday. Thank you.
Good luck with your gateways in that other community that you represent.
Oh, they have, that's okay, I've always